Surprise, motherfucker.
So, another episode proudly sponsored by the best competition page in the whole fucking world.
You're right.
Bar Kings, the best deals, cheap prices, no hole licks, straightforward, and you have more of a chance. You've more of a chance to win in R Kings than anywhere else because it's literally Ireland based, the north and the south, and we are proudly sponsored by Boutique Infinity Tanning Salon, top of the White Rock Road, state of the art sunbed facility. Get up and check it out, folks. If you want your balls tanned, this is the spot to go.
Sorry for near jumping down your neck. Hope you enjoy the podcast.
About 40 probably, wouldn't it be?
It just depends how hard you train and how good you look after yourself. Look at Ronaldo. He's still out fucking.
He's in it. Look at the league. He's in what? Like Ronaldo.
I know, fuck's sake.
Ronaldo's in
still international level. Like,
it's sound. Could be spotting here for it.
Isn't it?
Here. We just use our mics and we don't own all our equipment. So we just set up.
We will upgrade eventually, like, but this is our working class setup for now, like, you know what I mean?
So, Paul, mate, nice to have you on. Is it rolling eyes on it? Your deputy Lord Mayor, is that the right name for it?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It's mad. It's something I didn't expect. You know, it doesn't happen to people from Turf Lodge that often.
Nah,
you know, and so very proud moment, like, but yeah, a bit shocked by it and stuff. You know, didn't see it coming, and but kind of got the support, you know, around the room and stuff, and my name was put forward and was accepted, and now so a wee bit of a whirlwind. Had to think about it, you know, and kind of, you know, is this the right thing to do? And I thought, you know, the sort of things that I'm doing is all kind of focused around poverty and the community here and what we're trying to do to tackle that. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to try to amplify that message and try to bring as many more people along with me as we try to do all these things in the community, you know. So it's a big moment, proud moment, like, from everybody in the family.
Fair play, mate. Is that many years is that before? Is it
just a year? So I'm just doing it till next June.
There's a Lord Mayor and then a deputy Lord Mayor, isn't that what it is?
It's a funny system, but not in this term or anything. Nah. Maybe you never know. But I'm happy with this. And I never thought this is a once in a lifetime. So really been enjoying it, and you know.
You've obviously been putting in the groundwork, but do you know what I mean? To get into a position, like.
But it's great, you know, a lot of pride for me, but also from a community as well. You know, it's great for people at Turf Lodge to get this. And one of the first things I did was go up to Holy Trinity, you know, and I was giving out an awards day, and that was a proud moment for me to go back to my old school in Holy Trinity and you know, see how well the kids are doing up there, the old teachers and all as well. So it's a great school, you know. So I love going back, you know, and it was a nice thing, and to say to the kids, listen, kids, you know, I'm from Turf Lodge, you're from Turf Lodge, you know, you could do this one day. You
like
know,
a full circle moment.
It was great. It was great. I love that school.
Does it have its perks, like, does it? You get front row seats in places?
Nah, not really, no.
So would you be down in the City Hall and all, like, or is that...
See, to be honest, you could probably go in and sit all day in City Hall and all, you know, with a big chain on you, but my job is out in the community. I prefer being out in the community and getting stuck in there, you know, so I don't think I'll ever change that.
You have an office in Allentown, isn't it?
Aye. But I work in Allentown, you know, I run food stock up there, and I got 7 days a week, you know, sometimes it's day and night. You know,
is that beside where the Bengal Space is, just facing the chapel?
Yes, just a wee community solidarity hub, which is a good wee spot. You know, we've turned it into a wee cafe there, and it's been great for just being there for, you know, people if they need help with anything, or, you know, we're also running like a job centre and all there as well, working to empower people in the community. You know, sometimes, you know, obviously I got myself growing up, sometimes places like Turf Lodge, places like West Belfast, you kind of grow up with your head down, you know. So for us, we're trying to say to people, you know, there is stuff out there for you, and just go out and...
I always see people in it, like, when I've actually never been in it myself, and I'm from Allentown, like, but I must call in, definitely, 100%.
No, it's a good spot. That whole thing of food stock, I don't know how much you know about it, but that started off in my garage in the house. You know, it's started off as a food bank in the garage in the house, but I always say the origins came from Turf Lodge. You know, I grew up in Turf Lodge, and, you know, my man and dad struggled to put food on the table, struggled to heat our home, and you know, I seen, you know, we men I went to school with and stuff as well, struggling, their mas and dads struggle as well, and for me it was like years later as an adult, like real frustration, going, I guess it's still happening. It's still happening in our...
It's still happening.
It is, you know, but, you know, people have pride in West Belfast, and it happens behind closed doors, you know, and that's the hardest thing, but we see it, you know, and with that, you know, a lot of anger going, why is this still happening, you know. So for me, instead of just shouting at the TV, it was about just, let's channel that anger and frustration and go and do something. And it was a community action. So, just a practical way of doing it was set up food bank in the garage.
I seen you had like, you would give like a lot of uniform stuff away, but see,
Aye.
I actually like because I have a son, obviously. See the fucking prices you pay for some
It's
uniforms,
wild.
it's insane. And I think the government give you like a grant of 30 quid or something.
Which doesn't do
school
anything.
blazer, mate,
Doesn't
is
do
like-
anything.
is like
I remember getting the
50
uniform
quid.
grant when
Yeah.
I was a kid, like when I was
Yeah.
going to Smeary. But it's just one of them things.
But you know what?
Up in West Belfast.
That's the thing. And when I was growing up, it would have been like I would have got wee man up the streets blazer whenever he left school, and his wee brother would have got my jumper and stuff like that there. And that's when I think, the reason why you start something like that, like food stock out in the community, that's, you think about it, that's where it came from.
Community.
It's all that community. And like growing up on our street, it would have been like if somebody was living on their own, you would have over knocked the door, or somebody's ma would have over knocked the door and said, here's an extra plate, a bowl of stew or something like that there. And that kind of sticks with you. And I think that's where I've come from. You know what? That's that community solidarity, that looking out for people. But there's a lot of people like that. That's the West Belfast way, and that's, I think that's where that thing came from. And there's years later, we've set up that school uniform hub up in Andytown, and we kitted 1,500 kids out this summer. 1,500, and that's schools right across the board, and it's, look, all we did was create a space and say to people, listen, when we come together and just share these uniforms, there's no embarrassment in it. This is just about community and stuff, and people have really, so it's been great, and what that's done, that's been, apparent. Like I've seen it with my own eyes, and I laugh. Like I never thought I'd have a career in retail, but there's me standing there with a fucking measuring tape around my neck and all. And my wife cracks up because like I'm just an expert in sizes, and I go, I think our Jonah's like a 32 jumper now. He's not so I can when somebody walks through the door, I can tell their sizes now. But the good thing up there was that, see if somebody came in, and people would come in, and it would be difficult, for them as well, struggling. You think if it's 90 quid for a blazer and PE gear being 200 quid, if you've 4 kids, like where are you getting the money for?
I know, 100%. Big families would struggle the most.
So we had everything out in the shelves, and like I don't know how many times like a ma or a dad would come in, and whenever they get sorted, they turn around to the kids and say, right, let's go and get a pizza tonight. Let's go to, go away we day trip to Newcastle on the weekend and stuff like that. That's what it means to people whenever you're, that the cost really impacts them, and sometimes you have parents going without just to get their kids a uniform, which is mental in 2025. So yeah.
I seen a video, I think it was on Kieran Mays, he shared it, I seen it on the store, and then I reposted it, but I was near crying watching the video. I was going, fuck.
Yeah, Kieran's a great guy, so he is,
I come from the same street as Kieran in Riverdale, but I'm glad where I grew up, it was a kind of tight-knit community as well.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of looks after each other, especially in times of need. Like, glad to be from Riverdale, but there's loads of places in West Belfast where it might not be as tight-knit community, and people do be struggling, so fair play to you what you're doing. I think it's very, very important, especially in 2025, because you would get a lot of people, maybe, as you say, they'd be too proud to kind of speak out or speak up about it.
Did you get any anonymous things that people they wouldn't want to tell you who they are? Or
there's loads of that. People are very proud, and what I'm proud of as well is that, see what we're doing here. It started in West Belfast, but it's working right across Belfast now. We're working in East Belfast, North, South, and it's that community spirit from West is spread right across Belfast now. So that's a thing we should be proud of. It's sometimes West Belfast gets a lot of stick, and I hate that, but I often turn around and say, well, listen, have you seen this? This is people in West Belfast just getting up in the morning saying, and knocking on our door and saying, what can I do to help? And it could be, listen, there's a family over in the Woodville, Shankill. There's a family over in East Belfast. There's a family in North Belfast. And it doesn't matter who they are. Everyone's going through the same thing. When it comes to poverty, when it comes to hardship, there are no borders or barriers or anything. There's no divide. It happens to everybody. And that's one thing I'm proud of. This thing that started in West, spread right across the city, and it's for good. But one of the big things for us, it's about kids going through this. And like, if anybody has kids, it's hard to think of kids being hungry, and that's the big driver for me, and you put yourself in the shoes of them parents, and them finding difficulty as well. One of the biggest things we're doing at the minute is breakfast clubs out at schools, because there's schools and teachers telling us the kids are getting hungry in the morning. So like, again, there's no big funding coming from a government, there's no funding coming from the council or anything, and we have the community pulling together and doing 3,400 breakfasts every week. We're out this morning to crack of dawn, getting them out, you know, and it's the thing I'm proud of is, and again, this is the thing, young people get a terrible stick, you know, they do, and what I'm proud of is, see if you go up the RWE hub in Antietown on a Saturday morning, there's 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and they're getting stuck in. And what I did was I just said, listen, guys, I'm just going to empower you with this project. We're trying to reach all these kids in schools, and they come in every Saturday morning and they knock it out of the park and get that breakfast clubs ready for 3,400 breakfasts on a Monday morning. And it's great to see, you know, and that's them giving back to their old schools and all as well, which is a great thing. And yeah, young people get an awful lot of stick, but we see the best in young people and stuff like that, you know. And what are we responding to? You know, I talk about it all the time, and it's a bit depressing, but I have to highlight it because this is what's going on. It's kids coming in and asking can they go to the toilet and running around to the canteen and asking the staff for food because they haven't eaten since the day before.
It's hard to imagine that's still going
on. Parents phoning us and saying, look, I feel really guilty. I've sent my kids into school, but we've absolutely nothing here. You know, it's stuff like that, and that's what we're responding to. But it's just a community pulling together. Doesn't matter, you know, where you're from or what your background is or what area you live in. It's just pulling together. And we often talk here about cross community and all. I don't really like the term cross community. What we see here is doesn't matter what your religion is or where you're from or who you are. It's just one community. It's just us all pulling together, just trying to.
Shankles is still West Belfast, but if you go down all them streets, it's the same buildings, same streets, all same architecture.
Yeah,
everything's the exact. You do you know what I mean? It's
people going through the same thing, you know, and it's you know I'm proud. It's and food stock on what we do. There's people from Shankill involved. There's people from East Belfast involved. There's people from everywhere involved, you know, and it's just kind of getting stuck in and pulling together to make sure people are all right, you know. We're
all people at the end of the day, and we're all in the one country, and if there's people struggling, you want to help them out. Like, you know, you wouldn't want to see anybody struggling, especially people who are in your community. I remember going to school and we're doing like St. Vincent de Paul and all stuff like that. It would have been like coming up to Christmas, and people would have gave in like tins of beans and all stuff like that. But I think the things that you're doing that helps that cause even more. Like, so
Christmas is a big one, you know. Christmas is like we're about to launch our Christmas appeal, and that's like last year we were able to reach about 2,000 kids in the community, and I don't want to depress us, lads.
No,
you know, but you know what? See out of that, and that can be quite depressing, but see the good thing, the positive I take from it is look at the way people pull together. You know, it's amazing, and that's the positive thing I take from it. But you know, every Christmas we've been doing stuff like, you know, we're getting Christmas dinners out to people who are living on their own. Where, you know, we're pulling together and getting gifts for kids, the families who whatever they're going through are saying we can't have a Christmas this year, you know, for whatever reason, and we're saying, you know, as a community we're not prepared to let that happen, you know, and we're gonna make sure that they can, you know. So, and that's what we do here in the community, you know.
Yeah, see, to be honest, last year you actually, that was my mum and dad, and you came to see me last year. It was the week before Christmas. I just want to say thank you for what you done that week. It meant a lot to me, and the family. We come in. I'll not say what you done, but you looked after us, and we really do appreciate what you done for us, mate. It was a tough week, but
I'm sure, mate, you know, I'm sure. No.
It was, mate, and that's what it is. See, when you're going through stuff like that, it's like, nah, no one else did like help. No one, there's no one.
Listen, see
you're the only one. And I've given you a shout out on this podcast before about what you've done, and
you never forget things like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, like
made you feel known.
Yeah, you're like even like sort of like help the kids, and our Christmas dinner and all was paid for. It was like there's so much stuff you've done for us, and we really do as a family we'll never forget that. So I appreciate what you've done, mate. It was very nice.
Definitely.
I mean, that was tough what you went through, and you know, I think called around, you know, I see, to be honest with you, I think everything that I do and everything that we do, it's about putting yourself in someone's shoes, and I can't imagine what you were all feeling that time. But what we wanted to do was let you know that the community were behind you and we're rallying around you, and you know, I was just a messenger that day, just going around and saying we're there for you.
Yes, man. So I appreciate it. It was obviously a terrible shit time for us. It was that time. It's never, when someone dies, it doesn't even matter what time of year. People always say, "Oh, it's so close to Christmas," but it's any time it's gonna be shit. But it was very nice what you done for us. So we appreciate it big time, mate. So you do a lot for the community as well, mate. And it's good now. You're starting to get the
Recognition.
you deserve, mate, because you do a lot, and you've done a lot for me, and you do a lot for the community. So,
And I've seen that wee office on Town Road for years now. Like that's been going for a good bit of time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah. That's
when did that first open up?
So I work in the wee Solidarity Hub. I work there every day, and
That's what I'm on about.
I
Sorry,
only
yeah.
one there. You know that's see the main thing was sometimes people coming around. It's difficult for them to ask for help and stuff. So we built this wee cafe, and I love it. It was like a local men's shed, and all come down and knocked it all out. There was nothing fancy about it, but it's a great wee spot, and come in, get a tea or a coffee. But it's just one of them places where it just breaks down the barriers. Because see if you're going through something,
Yeah.
like you want to feel, we try to make people feel that sense of community around them, you know, so they can open up and talk. And it's just become this great place now where, you know, people can come and get a job. You know, we were talking there earlier, like 132 people turned up one day to get 8 jobs. We had 8 jobs
Did they?
going, aye. And 130, they were queued up down the road. People were wondering what was going on. Andy sounded like and but it was great. And that was for me, it's been continuing like every week since. Like we had 30 odd jobs for civil service and stuff. We had 20 jobs last week for the hospitality, like sort of line of work, and that was 20 people turned up for a job. 20 people got a job. Some people started that night and work, and that's not just for them. That's their families getting a lift, you know. So for us, it's not just about handing food out and stuff. It's about trying to empower people and let them know that, you know, there's better out there for us all. We just need to kind of, you know, lift our heads up and move towards it, and that's what we've been doing up there. It's been about empowerment. So the next big thing we're doing, which we're excited about, is that we're opening a new centre, and again, that's been, there's no money involved in this. This has just been us, like, kind of building it and then kind of worrying about what happens afterwards, you know. So it's we've got this new centre, and it's called Education and Empowerment Centre, and it's about giving kids the best chance. So it's about, we're going to have kids being referred on to us, you know, maybe kids who have the ability, but maybe they're being held back in their school because of, you know, financial difficulty in the family. Maybe they've suffered a bereavement, maybe some sort of trauma, homelessness, all these different things which we hear from schools and from families. And we're going to be providing free tuition from this new centre. Which it's been a dream of mine for years, you know, just to make that happen, because, you know, I've seen it myself, you know, I've seen a lack of opportunity, you know, as well for people, and it's that sort of sense. And there's a big group of us pushing to get this open. We're hopefully going to be opening in the next couple of days.
Days,
So it's there. It's there.
Whereabouts is it?
It's King Street, you know, King Street, just down off
Okay.
Castle Street, and
Yes, people.
definitely.
Mate,
If
you're
you're
going to have
listening,
a lot to be doing here. Like, you're going to
Yeah.
have a lot to be juggling.
Fair play, but it's got the call a day. Carl Frampton's got to come along, and he's got to open it for us, which is absolutely amazing.
That's class.
And there's a man who represents the very best of this place, you know. And we talk about, you know, the work we're doing, about it kind of breaking down barriers, about it being across all communities. There's no better man to come and represent that than Carl Frampton. So fair play to him. He's got to come and launch that for us. And you guys are, of course, welcome to come down and at the launch as well.
What date is it? Do you know the date?
Be Tuesday the 28th.
I will be back.
I
100%.
give you a message.
If there's
mate,
anything
Definitely.
we can ever do for you, let us know, because we'd be happy to help. Because I honestly, people need to be doing more stuff about this, and there needs to be more awareness spread for all the stuff that you're doing, because there's not enough of it getting done in the community. And as John says, need more people like yourself, definitely.
So is that how many user up there and do your in the
And up there for volunteers now. So there's we had a night one night. We did a night, and see, Christmas is absolutely mental. It's just, you're just numb. There's just so much going on, and Christmas, we did 600 Christmas dinners out and out into the community. Have to give a shout out, Lily's and Glenavy. They cook 600 dinners on Christmas Eve. Head of staff made 600 dinners. Unbelievable. We went up and collected them, and we got them out into the community for people who were living on their own. You know, unbelievable things like that. But after Christmas, we went, right, we're going to have a bit of a thing here. We'll say thanks to our volunteers, and fair play to the Balmoral. They got us a room up there, and we had a bit of a night. And we didn't honestly like sit down and think how many volunteers we had. It's over 100 volunteers turned up that night, and you sometimes don't realize there's just so many people, but that's 100 odd people in the community who's stepping up every day and saying, right, what can I do to help? You know, which I think is a real positive thing.
It is. Well, speaking on the Balmoral, mate, we're actually doing our first live podcast in the Balmoral on 2 weeks' time.
That's right.
On the 1st November, we have Mick Conlon's on with us.
Roberto
Stilo and Costa. So if you want to go up and watch it, have a beer, mate.
You're more than welcome up. 100%.
And I have to give Mick Conlon a shout out. You know, and he probably, I don't know if you embarrassed me saying this, and not a lot of people know this, but Mick Conlon a couple of years ago pulled the stops out and he came to us and he gave us an awful lot of money to make sure kids had a Christmas.
Did he?
What a guy!
I don't want to embarrass him, but he did. And we were round about struggling trying to reach families, and Mick Conlon, you know, no questions asked, and he made sure that Christmas that so many kids, not just in West Belfast but right across Belfast, had a Christmas. They woke up on Christmas morning with something, whereas they weren't going to wake up with anything, and he did that. So like champion inside the ring, champion outside the ring as well.
He gives us, like, he owns that grab beer, and my fucking kitchen's stacked at the top of the roof, stacked. I usually drink it. We're away early in the morning on a flight, so I can't be drinking the night. I usually have a wee beer in the podcast, but Mick's a good lad. He's been on the podcast, and he's doing our live one.
Good positive role model for the kids.
And see all the boxers that come from SRA, you know, Potty, McCrory, who came and he's
Tyrone and
Tommy, all of them, like, you know, real legends. And them guys have come from the community and they know what people are going through. And you know, they're some of the first to come up and step up and say, look, what can I do to help? So fair play to them all. A
lot of them even helped me, just giving words of encouragement, just even talking to people and having good conversations where you'd have thought before, like, fuck, you don't even realize people think that you exist or even know you. Do you know what I mean? And it just even though someone older than you giving you a couple of words of encouragement, you don't realize how much it means to someone younger. You know what I mean? Who might be going through something. So
but seem to talk about like people in this community and other communities with their heads down. They look up to people like that, and they're inspirational. Them guys are from our community and they're world champions. So it's unbelievable to think that, you know, of the whole world, they're from this area and they're world champions. So
there's something about West Belfast. Tell me,
see, just going from the Badmy Falls to the Tapia Falls, there's fucking some big boxers just along that whole road, like some big names. It's Belfast. It's
not just in recent times. Going back, it's been happening for.
Would you be a fan of the boxing? Would you?
I like boxing. It's but again. Follow a lot. Like, you can't help but follow it now because everyone's from a road.
I know.
That's the thing, but it's amazing. And
there's always now something to watch on a Saturday night.
And it's class, you know, and that's what you see. You see these guys and they're so normal, so humble as well, and they're out literally, you know, world champions. It's amazing. It's amazing to see. Again, inspiring for a lot of young people. And you know what, like in terms of not just in the ring, but what they're doing outside the ring as well. You know, they're good community people, which is amazing.
I actually went to the mixed fight there, the one even in Dublin the other week. It was about a month ago. I was down at Dublin. It was a good fight, like it was very good.
Some atmosphere, I'm sure.
I ended up meeting up with them out there and having the beer and all. It was good crack.
Yeah.
I stayed down. Look, Dublin's dear as fuck.
Yeah.
Dear as fuck. I go to a boxing fight and you go to watch it live, you end up standing at the bar talking shit to everybody. Been sitting watching most of the fights. Do you know what I mean?
My uncle's from Ardong and he moved over to England, and he was a massive fan of Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson must have had some sort of comeback where he started fighting in like England and Scotland all years ago.
Yes, that's right.
And so my uncle says, right, loves him. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a loan out of whatever credit union or whatever, and I gotta go to see Mike Tyson. This is it. I'm gonna pay ringside and all this here. So he went and he's sitting. He's on his own. If nobody else could afford a ticket to sit beside him, and he's sitting there, saved up all his money, and he hears like the corner man giving Tyson like these directions and orders, and he says, I'd love to hear just what to say to him, because he's an animal. He's an absolute machine. I'd love to hear what his coaches say to him. And he walked over and he earwigged, and he went and he heard whatever they said, and he heard the bell ding ding, and he went back to sit in the seat. And next thing he heard this big roar. Tyson knocked him out before he got back to his seat.
He missed it.
He missed
it. Fuck.
You beat Colin,
wouldn't you? Telling you.
Credit union getting paid back for an year after that. Then you get to see
couple of years, I think. Yeah.
Did you see the Tyson fight when he fought Jake Paul? Did you watch it?
I know. I didn't know what
I couldn't face that.
See YouTube exhibitions. I haven't got the patience to watch it because they're not even. Like,
I watched them, but I mean, it's not right. He shouldn't be fighting. Like Jake Paul's a prime of his life. Tyson's fucking, he's been retired 30 years or something.
Yeah.
He's a mad bastard too, but do you ever see the video of him? He's like, my back's broke, and he's standing in the middle of the ring. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, vertebrae.
Do you ever see his podcast? Have you watched his podcast?
He's fucking nuts, mate.
He sits, takes mushrooms and all on it, and just fucking starts, he's tripping balls, talking to his guests. His guests are just sitting looking at him going, what is going on here? No, that was Rampage.
Was it?
Rampage's son was a wrestler, so is that who you're on about? No? Or is that
No,
something
Rampage
else?
is he not a UFC fighter?
Aye, but it was his son
No, that was
knocked
his.
somebody out a couple
few
weeks
years
ago.
There was a video with Tyson's son, 16, knocked an 18, 19-year-old mama who was getting him jib at the edge of the corner, and he baked that brakes off, and we fell out to pull him off. And he's twice the size of his dad.
Don't know.
Oh, it's
What was Tyson was in Hangover, wasn't he? I reckon that was just him. He was just acting himself, wasn't he?
Probably was, but he would have got big though for it. Like he would have got big though. Hangover's my favorite. Like the whole trilogy is my favorite films. Like, see, every time it's weird because every time I have a hangover, I watch it. I could act I just put them on, just lie in bed and watch them all.
It's one of my go-to comedies. Like, if
the thing is, we're comedies now. Like fucking society's want. Like, like you can't get a funny comedy. See from like 1990 to like 2010, that was fucking best. The best era for films. See, like, have you ever watched Road Trip or like Old School? They were all funny, like the ones Will Ferrell was in his prime of his life.
Right.
I think Step Brothers was the last ever good Will Ferrell film.
Because comedies don't even go into cinemas anymore; they just go straight on the Netflix. It's not the same. But like, do you remember Pool of Moves? Like, they need to make an art show like that, like an old Belfast comedy show. Do you know what I mean?
Here, lads, used to should be on it.
I hear we could do one of those swag.
There was one out there called Unholy Lands. It was a movie.
I haven't seen it.
It was actually made.
Thrones in it. Tyrone McCann.
Tyrone digs him. But like, that was just two local lads just made that, and it's just all people, their mates and all filmed. It's done professionally, like. But anything happens, anyone watching and anything happens like that, and you just need two West Belfast scumbags, me and Liam will do it.
Well, we should make our no, but not like we could make our own TV show. Like, no, just to like not you wouldn't copy Pool of Moves, but like you could kind of make an old sketch of all the funny wee things that have went on over your years. Like,
it had to be sketches. Pool of Moves. What did it come back now? About 20 years?
Something like that.
It doesn't seem like it's
some
that
of
long
guys
ago.
who were not knocking about.
I actually follow big.
I care,
Big
Nolan,
Cooper
legend. We've been trying to get him on the podcast for a while, but
did you ever watch the Blame Game? No.
Is that who's host that?
It's all like it's like sketches. That from fucking.
Get my headpiece.
Are you goers? No, get my headpiece.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
New day, get my headpiece.
I don't think is there any show? Is there any? There's no like Blue Lights. That's brilliant.
But it's not a comedy. Like,
no,
it's more serious. It's a drama.
It has to be done right. Comedies from here has to be done right. Because otherwise, it's fucking really cringy.
It could be gimmicky.
Derry Girls, did you watch that?
I loved it.
Do you know what was filmed in New Barnsley?
That's right.
I was like a couple of doors down from my ma's house. They were all just running about the street. It was mad.
You can see it right away. Once you see it in the show, you can see it right away.
What's that? 90s or 80s, is it? And then it's all, when you're on the street, it's all French patio doors and all. You wouldn't have seen them doors back in.
Me and Sean Paul were on the drink one time, leaving Mick Kearney's house, and we seen them all filming. We were going, yo, can we bounce in? Trying to jump in now, but they weren't for having it. Like, trying to make a few extras. But
I have an claim to fame for Derry Girls, and it was like the wee girl, Jenny Joyce. I used to be a musician years ago. That's an art.
Jenny Joyce, the nerd, is she?
Aye,
I'll tell you after.
She was in it. We were a band from West Belfast, and she was in our music video.
What was your genre of music?
We like rock, pop, indie type thing, wrote her own music sort of thing. So she was in one of our music way before Derry Girls. Like,
we were done the judges for, it was like a
we could call back to our old school.
And she was the other judge.
All right,
so we was listening to her and we sat and had lunch on her.
Really, really nice girl.
Lovely lady.
Well, she's not from here though. She's not from Belfast, isn't she? Not?
No.
Oh, she's Derry, is she? Some of them Derry girls on that show are English.
Yeah.
They just put that accent.
You wouldn't think it's
a good show, but
it is alright.
There's nothing worse, but when you watch something and they kill our accent, like somebody from America tries to do our accent, they just absolutely murder it.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy? And they go to Belfast. Have you seen it, John? Oh, it's terrible. Like,
there's a few lines in it. It's good. Like, the Chibs and all spits in the cop's face. Like, that's good shit.
Even your man who plays Jax, he's doing the American accent. He's not even good doing the American accent. You can tell he's English, like.
I hate that as well.
That's the guy who plays Ed Gein.
Ed
Gein, the monster.
Anyway, to the victims. He didn't take one penny for it. They gave him money.
I haven't watched it all, but I've seen a wee clip. Have you finished it?
Have you watched it yet?
No.
Here, do you got an office down in the City Hall? Do you?
Aye.
You do?
Aye. You should do the next podcast from it.
Wow, we should have made
Aye,
it.
yeah.
We should have. We haven't on that.
Swanky, like, aye.
Would you been able to bring us in, though? Huh?
Aye.
That would have been fuck's sake. Why didn't you tell us now?
I know. I never thought of it until now. Actually,
That would have been
Yeah.
sick. No, not many
Use
people,
your poll, get us down.
I know.
not many people saying what it says they've done a podcast. And has one ever been done in the city?
We'll have to do it incognito. Like they wouldn't let me do it. Would you were coming to
See
one
us I go. Definitely not.
You just wouldn't get into the front door now. He's like,
We did one in Ibiza before. It was pretty
oh
funny.
yeah, yeah.
See, walking through Ibiza, mate, we were like you're walking up the strip in Ibiza, and concert shouting out, they recognise us from the podcast, and we've been to London and all. We've been recognised in London.
It's a weird
mad,
feeling in a
Yeah.
different country.
It
Because
is.
you look at
Flan.
20 people from Belfast would kind of
Class.
see, like, do you know
No,
what I
here
mean?
you bump into people every like. I can never forget. Like this is the thing. You bump into somebody from West Belfast anywhere in the
Everywhere.
planet.
We
Yeah.
said on the podcast before, see someone like see reaction, see if someone even does a big spit, you can tell they're from fucking West
Aye.
Belfast by
Big
the way
hackle.
they spit.
Wait,
You can't, alright. I see you're
Yeah.
on holiday here. I had to go. That song comes from the road. I know. It.
See, years ago, so me and lads from all West used to tour about these musicians, right? And we got asked this time to go and play in this place in Switzerland, and it was in the Alps in Switzerland, right? And it was
Lethal.
like from playing in the fucking green hut to the Swiss, the Swiss Alps, and we all jumped in and we went over, and it was like fucking 6 foot of snow, and all that took us up, and it kept taking us up to this top of the mountain where it was a ski resort, and we didn't know ourselves. I never forget getting up the and they brought us into this big cabin. We're all sitting having our dinner, and we've been out there for about 3 or 4 days. No, you're away and you're away from everyone speaking a different language and stuff. I was up at the bar. I was sitting there, and there was a woman up at the bar, and I heard, "Tommy, they don't do harp." Like I thought, and I went, I'm losing the plot here. I was only here 3 or 4.
Oh,
They
you hit
don't
your
do
head,
harp, and he was going, "Get us butter or something, love," or something like that there. And I was going, I'm fucking Daphne here. I walked over and I goes, "Love, where are you from?" She goes, "Poglass."
Oh, Jesus.
And I went,
And-
what are you doing in the middle of the Swiss Alps? And she says, "I'm my son's a skiing instructor." And I went, "Where the fuck did he learn to ski?"
Aye, not in Poglass,
I
anyway.
know, but it's so that's the thing. You literally meet somebody from West Belfast anywhere.
We were away here on a boat, and we were in the middle of the ocean. We just heard the Irish accent. Some fella where we chatted, and we
It does. It ripples through a crowd. The
Aye.
accent is
Just-
fucking
you
tough.
can-
Like
Yeah.
it is all right. When you hear your own voice on camera, it's a wee bit cringy. But I love
Yeah.
I love the Belfast accent. When I go on holiday, I really struggle for people to understand me. I talk so fast. They call me the Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah,
But everyone can understand him.
You
Yeah.
and him are talking, have the
See
same
me,
conversation,
sticks
and
out.
no one
I
understands
think yours is
him.
a bit more high pitched. His is a
Yeah.
bit more low toner, and it's a bit more ear.
I think it's because
I
he's a
slow
rapper.
mine
He's-
down.
He can
Sticks
talk.
out everywhere. See what I called? There's a guy from Turf actually, Con. Me and him one day. It was years ago, 2012. The way they have the extras thing about here. There was a mate of mine tortured us one night to go in and said, "Here, Game of Thrones is being filmed. You fancy coming around? You've all beards, so we'll go in. We'll try to do an audition to be an extra." I mean, I called around and did it, and the mate who really wanted to do it didn't get a call up. Me and the other guy did. As
he
he'd read all the books and all. So anyway, we went round and they took us to this like a beach somewhere, and they were lighting all these big torches, and we were all on the beach. And so it was something about some scene where they were going to invade like a city, and they had this big famous actor, and he goes, and the director says, American director said, "Right, lads, see whenever he says, right, we're going to take this city, we want you to all roar like is there warriors and all this here." And he goes, so your man, the actor, goes up all dramatic, he goes, "We're going to take this city." And all you heard was, "You." And your man cut, and he goes, "Well, whoever the fuck's from West Belfast just shut up." The next day, can't
Seen Anthony Boyd done that there in one of his speeches. Do you know Anthony?
Oh, aye, he's doing brilliant. Yeah.
It was last year, 2 years. He won some big award,
Yeah.
and because he talks a little professional, and then he just went,
That's
I don't
for all
know.
these ones back home, legend.
Yeah, he's
Class.
fucking blew up
He's
massively, hasn't he? That House of Guinness is brilliant. He's fucking.
Masters is
Yeah.
good too.
It's in Louise's where he learned his drama,
That's right. Yeah.
and now look at him. He's fucking
Yeah.
rubbing shoulders with a fucking
That's
Hollywood.
amazing. And again, like it's mental. All these people from this community,
The
and
West.
from Belfast and the West especially, and they're doing brilliant like that. Yeah, so fair play to him.
He done a good job with it being the dark as well. and
Oh, it was
that's
good.
it.
Yeah.
Very huge.
Yeah,
It was
very
class.
good. He was brilliant in that. Yeah.
I know there'd be a lot of pressure on you doing having a role like that as well.
Have you watched it? Did you watch Say Nothing?
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't
It's
it?
powerful stuff, and it was one of them ones where like I started watching it. I didn't know because it goes back to the thing where sometimes they get it wrong and sometimes it's cringy. But you know what? It probably helped that he was from here, and he probably grew up around a lot of that, and he a sense of it. And I thought it was very real.
It was accurate enough, like.
Yeah.
I seen like the shaft of the fuck out of Jerry, like. There's the.
I'm saying that.
Well, it was a great show. I was one of the shows. I was filmed. Was it the Davis Towers? It was
because it used to have 5 blocks or something before it got knocked down years ago. So hard of. Like,
I know, that's what I was wondering. It must have been filmed somewhere else.
Yeah.
But behind it, there was tower. Looked like there was blocks, but it's like blue lights as well. You look, and they're going over like Tate's Avenue, and then they turn the corner, and they're fucking because the streets.
Yeah.
And next time they're over like the other side of Belfast, like they have obviously cut there and then filmed somewhere else.
They're in Turf Lodge somewhere in Glendale Estate or something.
The first episode of the first ever series was up on the top of Turf, I think.
That's right. It is alright. They're at the Peace Wall just before it. And they get two undercovers or something beside the Peace Wall, and then they drive up and get your Remans. They call their Reman's Maz house, and it's in Turf.
It's weird seeing it on TV, isn't it? It's like areas,
I've only seen the first episode.
The kneecap, your man, it's Pocky Lee, is the dad. Pocky Lee's the dad, and the kneecap is son. And he's like, he's brilliant, isn't he? What is he, Johnny Dogs or something?
Johnny Dogs, you got it, man.
Have you watched Peaky Blinders, haven't you?
Yeah, it's great.
I haven't seen it.
Peaky Blinders?
No, it's brilliant.
Great show. Cillian Murphy's such an actor. I was rocking. We were wearing suits the other day, and I was rocking one of the wee hats, the wee granda.
So he was running about like Gavin Shelby the other day.
It was a prop.
Speaking of Eric's, I might need
a whistle.
Yeah.
I get you on the bar. I'm sitting there for you.
And I'm away 2:00 tomorrow, so I might need. If you're about tomorrow day, could see 100%.
Yes, I'll give it to you. No bar.
John's man started a room. Is it like a fashion brand? We'll plug it here. What's it called?
Brandon's Irish Linen.
Brandon's Irish Linen, and it's like off.
Bringing the old school back to the new school. My man, authentic Irish Linen. So we'll put a wee trail.
So if anyone watching, check it out. John has an actual clothing brand named after him. She named the waistcoat after it. It's a John. The most basic name in the world.
Is that what
John?
you say when you come out of a womb too? It's a John.
So here, see that new spot you're opening in the town, King Street.
Yeah.
So what way is it going to work? How many are going to go down there? Are you going to split up, or?
So we're going to open it up. So it's like it's got to be working with schools, and schools are going to like be sending the kids down. There's going to be art therapy. There's got to be breakfast clubs happening down there, but all about education as well. But working with the schools. The schools are our biggest driver. They're telling us what's happening. Communities are telling us what's happening. And homes behind closed doors and stuff as well. So, that's the next big thing. But it's what it is. It's like you're trying to tackle what's going on in the community, and sometimes a parcel of food's not enough. We're looking at the long term impacts. We're trying to get people into jobs. We're trying to give kids the best chance and give them better opportunities. So. That's what that centre's for, and it's great. And again, it hasn't been something that fucking governments went and funded or something like that. It's literally been the community pulling together, and these people have come together who are like working construction, who do ceilings, who painters, like joiners, all sorts of brilliant people have just pulled together and says, you know what, we believe in what you're doing, we want to make it happen. They see what we're trying to do are for kids in the community. Many of themselves have maybe have grew up and have had a rough upbringing, and they don't want others to kind of go through the same. So it's a powerful thing, like seeing people do it.
Can't believe Lily Johnson's do that many meals on
600 meals, absolute legends.
And you see the thing is too, their food is fucking powerful. I've had there. It's fucking it's amazing. Good shit
it's amazing. It's
so that's good for a play to them.
And you know what? Like that, they're a great team up there, and they brought their staff in and paid their staff to come and cook all these meals. We went out and dropped them out, and you know what? It was just we put it out into the community, and we said to people in West Belfast and all over Belfast, really, listen, is there somebody in your street that maybe is on their own and could do with cheering up at Christmas? Knock on the door, and it was one of our volunteers, and dozens of volunteers go out, knock on the door, say, look, happy Christmas, how you doing? There's a wee meal.
Do you do it surprisingly? Did you surprise them?
Yeah,
like
a lot of people wouldn't know it's coming.
Would you be a lot of older people too? I would imagine, because like
across the board,
they lose like their husbands or wives or whatever. Or you get them. I always think, especially around Christmas time, I
Yeah.
always think about that. Like, we
Yeah.
old pensioners kind of just sitting on their
So
own in
everybody
the
has
house. It's
somebody in
sad
their
to
street
think
you're
of,
always
aye.
trying to look out for. But see, for us, it was crazy. So we were going out on Christmas, and somebody would answer the door, and you'd maybe have like one wee man up kind of sticks in my head where he says, I didn't order this. He says, no, your neighbours. In fact, his neighbour, both neighbours either side, contacted me separately and
Did
said,
they? I didn't know.
could you get this wee man? And he says, no, your neighbours looking out for me. He goes, I'd never spoke to my neighbours. I don't know them. And then I just fucking started crying. You know, it was just knowing that people were looking out for him. But then we went to our houses and how are you getting on? I'm dead on. I'm a wee bit cold in here. Fucking people living with no heating in their houses for like 3 months. It was like, man, Christmas Day we went out and he hadn't had heat since September. He had a broken boiler. So thank God we had people volunteering who could go out and turn their hand to anything. So they were out fixing boilers. But it's sad like that's going on. But again, the positive thing is there's people that are stepping up and willing to.
Some of my boys just want to yarn, mate. That's some of the people just happy for the company.
And that's half it.
Bit of conversation,
And that's what our the team up, our volunteers for play in. They'll stand, get a chat, and see how people are doing. And sometimes that's the only conversation somebody will have in 1 week the next. So it's.
I know it's sad, like, isn't it, when you think about it?
So you rely heavily on like places like Lily Johnson's and like
people
like local
people to volunteer. Because the government don't fund. See the government, they spend their money on the stupidest shit and the stuff that actually really matters, like education, people on the streets, homelessness. They don't put their money where it actually needs to go. Hospitals, stuff like that. It's mad to think.
Well, that's what that is. What we're doing up there. That's where government's failed people. The community stepped up and says, no, it is. We're not prepared to let kids go hungry. We're not prepared to let people live in cold homes. We're not prepared to let kids go into school without a school uniform, and that's what our community's done.
And because it used to be like that loads of years ago too, you would have had a more of a community like feeling in Belfast, whereas there has been a lot of it's been lost. Like I remember, well, my street still has them sometimes. Remember, you would have had street parties and all.
Yeah.
People, everybody,
right.
like
block a street off and
van shops and all. Remember van shops? You know what I mean? You don't see them anymore.
So, Paul, if someone wants to make a donation to come up to Christmas, what do they do? What way do they do it?
Yeah, they go to our website and again you can go on and the money that you give would go towards kids' breakfast in the morning or go towards helping with free tuition or go towards community meals or gifts for kids for Christmas as well. So all those different things, and you can go on to our website and donate from there and find out a bit more about what we're doing, and maybe you might want to get involved as well.
What is the website?
Foodstockcharity.com.
We'll put the link and stuff everything up on the page.
So if you have toys, like new toys, like you buy toys, do you throw them in or?
Yeah, you can drop them in. So that's open now, and that's what we're doing. We're working with like a Belfast Trust. We're working with children's cancer units, different places, and ensuring that we're families sadly contemplate not having a Christmas, and we're as a community we're pulling together and make sure that they do.
It's good to have like places or people like yourselves.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's an important part of it all. When you're dealing with this sort of thing, and it's about dignity. It's about people's dignity. That's the most important thing. There's a stigma around all this. There's a stigma about
100%, mate.
People using a food bank, or even there's a lot of working families out there. There's people who are working right now who. Their landlords doing them in. They're bumping their rent up. And they're scumbag landlords all over this place, and they're making people's lives hell. There's landlords here who are basically making sure that people are becoming homeless and out in the street. There's kids and their parents sofa surfing right now as a result of landlords' greedy actions. And that's what we see every day in this community. So when it comes to stuff like Christmas as well, some people say, I guess toys not really a priority, but you know what? We all remember Christmas. We all remember like being with our family, and so for us, it's about that family unit. It's about creating memories, and if we can help in some way, we're up for doing it.
Is there any ages where you would struggle with certain ages?
Teenagers always, teenagers often get a kind of bad shout where it's hard because people are often thinking, toy appeal to go out and buy for young people. So we often say, remember the teenagers and stuff as well are sometimes left behind when it comes to Christmas appeals.
You can imagine it's easier buying toys when you go into Smiths, but for a teenager, there's not much like clothes, clothes, phones.
People be very good and they'll get vouchers and stuff as well, which is good. But we're gonna do a wee giving tree, a Christmas tree up at the hub, and so whenever we get a referral from say a Belfast Trust and say there's a wee boy age 8 and he likes football, we'll have a wee tag up on the tree. And people can come and collect it, and they can take on that child for Christmas stuff.
That's brilliant.
So we're doing that from the hub, and that's going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. So we're just asking people to get behind it, and if they can, I know people are struggling out there themselves, but if they can do it, it'd make a big difference. Sometimes people who do get involved in that sort of stuff don't see the impact. We see the impact. I often tell a story about, it was Boxing Day actually, and me and a guy, Paul, we're walking, we're up in Tunbrook, and we're walking through like flats, and we were dropping a food parcel off to someone, and there was a girl coming down with her 2 kids, and Paul would talk to anybody, and he goes, "Oh, all right, kids, you have a good Christmas," and they were just nodding away, and he says, "Well, what did Santa get you?" And the wee boy turned around and says, "Oh no, we moved house, sir, and Santa didn't know where we live, but he's got to get us next year."
Christ, man,
And it broke me. It absolutely broke me, and it broke Paul as well. And this is the reality of what goes on. Domestic violence. She had to leave the home before Christmas, and the kids didn't get a Christmas. So thank God, because of the power of community, people had overdone it that year, and I, in my head, I was going, like, we have a hockey table down there, we have this, we have that, and we filled that house because we had stuff over, and that one was so grateful, and those kids had a great Christmas, and she made up, something of Santa, found out where we live and stuff like that. That's what community is all about. That's what looking out for people is all about, and that's why we do it. And we go harder every year because we know that's going on in communities. There's people going through all sorts of shit, but as a community, we're not prepared to let it happen. We're pulling together.
People are that you may not realize are there at the time or in the background. People you may not even know exist, but they'll be people that come in and step in.
100%.
You must bring, like, obviously you'll see and hear a lot that's going on in the community, but I must come home and fucking, you must sit and think about that.
Yeah.
I would, I'm sure, like, obviously calling to people's doors, saying the way they're living and stuff. Does that get to you? Does it?
Yeah.
It would,
you never get used to it. You never get used to seeing someone in your community going through that, but you kind of have to use it as a motivator, and you kind of, you channel it into action, the community action, and that's what we've done up there. I'm proud of that. There's so many people just saying, look, what can I do to help and to step up, and that's what we see every day in the community with Food Stocker. So yeah, it's tough seeing people going through stuff, but you have to try to find a solution. It's no point just saying, oh, that's awful. You have to try to find a way to.
You definitely should be proud, like, because it's amazing what you're doing. It's inspiring as well. See people like us. We obviously we're young. We would like to help a lot more than what we know, but we don't really know much about what's going on until we speak to like people like yourself as well, and you go, we could help out.
Listen,
too.
We're getting the message out here.
That's it.
So
spreading awareness.
Spread the word, and everybody has the potential to step up for others and make a difference. So
yeah.
100%.
And see another point as well. What you were saying about the centre, like it's you can help kids when they're in school, but it's when they leave school, where do they go after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, people like used to go to youth clubs, and then it just goes to nightclubs after that. And people be running about trying to get into places to shoot in early ages, and you can lead people down wrong paths very quickly too. So it's good what you're doing, definitely.
Yeah. So who's lighting the Christmas lights this year down in the City Hall? Paul, are you lighting them?
No,
I'm a deputy, so I'll not be.
I'll
be the mayor doing it, but
get
here
down.
We'll be lighting Christmas lights up Nannytown. You boys are
If
welcome.
you need two good-looking podcasters, we can come do it. No sweat.
100%. Yeah, we do it every year up there. We light the big tree in Nannytown, and we bring all the families together and have a bit of a celebration with Santa, aka Buster from Ace Taxis, comes in, and the best Santa ever. I mean, that man goes into character. I've seen him in Fruithill and Saturday night there, and he's grown the beard out already. It's only
the real
dedication.
I mean, he is the real Santa.
Well, mate, I'll be making a donation this year after what you done for me last year, so I appreciate that big time, mate. And thank you for coming on, mate.
Appreciate your time. Yeah,
thank you, guys.
If there's anything you want to shout out as well,
we'll plug all your pages and stuff, but you want to shout out Lily Johnson's or whatever else.
Lily Johnson's here, whole community for stepping up every day, and we're gonna go again this Christmas. So if anybody can help us and try to reach families this year, you're more than welcome to come and put your shoulder to the wheel. So thank you, folks.
Do your bit, people. All these people watching, do your bit for the community. Do you know what I mean? It's just something small could be something big to someone else. So you don't know.
Happy days.
But thanks very much for coming on, Paul. Appreciate you, mate.
Cheers, lads.
Legend.